It's been about a month. I've been lagging on it. I know. But finally, here's episode 2 of my cold approach journey. I know y'all been waiting. but no, seriously, um I've had a lot of things going on. And I'm getting ready to actually go back into the field, which is funny because I started around this time last year, but going back into the field, more consistently because I've been doing approaches off and on, and you guys will probably hear those or get documentations of those month by month while I'm going through it in the moment, and then we'll go back and do reflection, right? But let's go into episode 2. Let's talk about what happened during the month of January 2025 between that episode 2. Right? So I told you guys last time how I started cold approaching. Now I'm going to go into the specifics on that specific month and what I learned that month and see what you guys could gain from this, right? So I wrote it down yesterday. After the initial approaches, I began to have a lot of fun within the cold approaching. Yes, so the way we set it up, it was me and my brothers. Shout out to Zoe, shout out to PTK. We set it up so where we were challenged, right? And my mentor, PTK Mindset, Brandon, he set it up that way we would progress through challenges throughout the month. That way we could continue to go out there and just get ready to gain the skill of cold approaching, right? Because the first weeks were hard. So we had a punishment system, right? So if you didn't complete your fucking challenge, you had to run 5 miles. So the first week out there approaching, I fucking failed. So, going into week 2, I owed 5 miles. So when I ran them motherfucking 5 miles, I realized I don't want to fail all the time and run 5 miles. So I got my shit together, I grabbed my fucking balls and I was like, let me fucking actually go out there and approach. Like, it's not that fucking hard. It was that hard. It was. That's the fucking truth. That shit is fucking hard. So, week 2, I did, I believe the goal was 3 approaches. So it was 3 approaches. 3 approaches not that bad. Now it's not that bad. But back in the day, it was like, I remember within those first approaches, it was like, fuck, my hand is shaking. I was extremely nervous to even go up. Within that week, like I said, I was really nervous. I was I couldn't believe that I would actually be shaking just from going up and talking to a person, let alone like, complimenting someone. Because I believe I told y'all last time. If not, I'm gonna repeat it for those who didn't watch the first episode. Go check it out. I had gone up to a lady with no intention of like, hollering at her. I went up to her just to approach her outfit. And she completely fucking disregarded me. I'm talking about she was like, huh? Like, who the fuck are you coming up to me and complimenting me? And I remember being like so in shock because just like she didn't take the compliment right. And that's the fears of many people, is that the way the woman is gonna react, the way they're gonna react, like, oh, she gonna take it the right way, is she gonna spaz out, or like those were things that were going through my mind. But what I've mentioned before on this channel is that you have to be able to distinguish the voices inside your head versus your own voice. That never really happened to me into that moment, and to this day, the only time that I've really gotten shut down through a compliment was recently, over the course of a year. So it's like twice where people look at me funny for a compliment. Yeah. So, my philosophy with that is flattery and compliments, not flattery, but compliments are never, if rarely, you know, um, mistaken. Like if you go up to someone and you compliment their shoes, or you compliment, their hair, etc. People don't take compliments bad. That's something that we make up in our head. And that's a part of like social anxiety that I had. Like I couldn't go and initiate the conversations, and it would freak me out, and that made it worse because I was putting so much pressure on myself to initiate the conversation, do the initial approach, go ahead and approach. And, so anybody who's just starting, I would tell you, do not tell yourself you shouldn't be afraid. No, you should be afraid. It's normal and it's okay to be afraid, but are you going to allow that fear to dictate your actions, or are you actually going to act and be courageous, which, that's what fear is. Well, that's what courage is acting on your fears, right? Going into week 2, I was able to get the 3 approaches done, and I remember that we went to these outlets, and like it was like Sunday night. Like we probably had like a couple hours before we actually like could finish the challenge. And I remember like just at this point, bro, fucking any type of shot, just fucking put that shit up, like just chuck it up at the rim. And something that I do want to tell y'all, like I've never approached a woman that I wouldn't date just based off of physical attraction. Like the women that would approach, they all have been attractive women. Of course, there's some that like you hit or miss. You see them from afar, and you know, you see them from afar, and you're like, oh shit. Once you get up close, but um, there's not like, in my eyes, and this is important. I have not approached a woman that was a 7 and below. In my eyes, 7 and above, that's usually what I approach. I really try to stick between 8 and 9s in my eyes, off of physical attraction. So I want to make that distinction clear to you. Some of these women might be fucking ugly. I don't fucking know. Some of them might be bad as shit, and I just think they're okay, right? But and the reason I'm bringing this up is that we weren't out there approaching just women that we can approach. We were approaching women that genuinely we were super attracted to, and we're like, oh fuck, this shit like shiver me timbers. I was fucking shaking in my boots. So that's important, because that's why it was so hard to get those initial approaches in, because these were women we were attracted to. So within that second week, the 3 approaches, I was able to get them done. We went to the outlets on a Sunday. I think I only had like an approach the whole week. And I was going out every day. So for those that feel bad, like not being able to do an approach, yeah, I went like almost 2 weeks, multiple days, just walking around in the mall, just fucking doing cardio. If you watch basketball, I was on my Tony Snell shit. Like I would just go out there, be in my fucking head, be in anxiety, and just fucking, oh my goodness. And we were at these outlets to get back on point finally. And um I believe like I didn't approach in an American Eagle. Like I just fucking hollered at a worker. That shit went sideways. All of these in the beginning were rejections, but it was just so fucking fun to even fucking approach. Like that was the fun part. Like, oh my goodness, like I'm actually out here fucking doing it. That was the win. It was the expressing the desire, expressing yourself, and not holding back, going after what you want. And that's really what approaching, like once I started realizing like, oh shit, this is actually fun, that's what it started to build up in me. Like we're out here not waiting for women to come to us, but we're choosing our pick of the litter. We're choosing who we want to be with, rather, circumstance, or rather, dating apps. I couldn't fathom being on fucking dating apps and just waiting and swiping, because then the women are choosing you. But rather than use them as an extra lead source, which a dating app is, using it to bring in more women that you could potentially meet, you also have the ability to cold approach and strike up conversation with anybody. So within that Sunday, I think I did about 2 or 3 approaches that night, and it was just great. Like they were all workers though, that I will say. Like I fucking had approached workers. I don't remember specifics on like how I felt in those moments. I do remember feeling the euphoria and the victory of like those approaches. Like, oh my goodness, we actually did it. We fucking got it done. And it was miserable. I ain't gonna lie, I was scared as fuck. My brother was crashing the fuck out. Like, I don't want to do this. Like the fear of being seen is what really was getting exposed inside of me for the first time. I didn't realize I was that socially anxious. I didn't realize that my body would tense up meeting strangers because it was so bad for me to the point like even when I would like be at stores, I wouldn't want to go ask for help. I wouldn't want to ask cashiers for help. I would wait for them to notice me, and that is very horrible for a man of like a man to be in. So being socially anxious, being afraid to express your desires, being afraid to even ask questions, even ask for help, horrible. Horrible in a social setting. It will hold you back. And as I go through this series, I will explain where a lot of these fears came from, so that way you could rewire your own psychology. But for now, we're gonna stay on the surface, right? So the next week, week 3 was important because it's been 3 weeks. It takes 21 days to build a habit, and week 3 was the first time I actually pulled the fucking number. Shit, look at me. I thought I was the fucking shit. I was like, this motherfucker actually pulled something. Okay, but let me lay it out. Let me lay out what happened, right? So it had probably been like 5 approaches in, 6 approaches in. I don't know. But like when you're first starting out, it's like, okay, when am I gonna see some, like when am I gonna see an outcome happen though, right? Besides just fucking, no, I have a boyfriend, which a lot of women will tell you they have a boyfriend. Um, I went in. I specifically remember, and I'm gonna make this a big point in this fucking video. I was 190 pounds, 185 pounds, but I didn't have the muscle mass that I have on now, nor the build, nor the look, nor the style, nor the sauce. And I was still out there fucking approaching, nor the hairstyle. And I was growing out my hair to be really long. And I was still out there approaching because I told myself if I wait to slim down, to get in shape, to fucking approach, I'm gonna have to live with this fucking fear the rest of the year or the rest of my life. I was basically coping and procrastinating the idea of going out and approaching. So I told myself that wasn't gonna be the case. So when I say this next part of the story, it is very important. I remember getting home from work and going to get ready to go to a mall. And I put on these clothes. They were large clothes because I was wearing large at the time still. But I had already lost weight. So since I had lost the weight, large no longer fit me. So I was going out with some baggy ass fucking clothes, like super baggy. Like it looks like I put some fucking some of my dad's shit on. And I didn't have a hairstyle yet because my hair was really long. I didn't know how to style my hair yet, right? Looks are important. Looks are important. I will not tell you they're not important because even the way I choose my women, the looks is the entry to the door of me even talking to you. So, same thing with the woman. But who you are, the energy you bring is always gonna exceed how you look. That's why you see fat dudes out there with fine ass women because you know what? They're not afraid. So, yes, looks are important. Looks are a presentation of who you are. They're a presentation of, this is how this man sees himself. But they're not the all and to be on. If you have a presence, you can exceed that. People will make an exception for you, right? So I went out to do, to approach, and this week's challenge was to have conversations within the approach. Don't just approach and get rejected. Approach and have conversations. Approach and have 5-minute conversations with 3 women. Okay? I believe it was 3 women, or if not, it was week 4 challenge. But within this week, we were starting to have conversations with these women, and I remember going into this alpha male store, literally alpha male store, and there's this woman working the desk, and I started talking to her. I started having a conversation with her, and I didn't have the intention to approach, but I kind of realized I was like, oh shit, you look kind of good, so and I'm telling her about my detailing business because I was running my detailing business at the time still. So I get her number and I told her, I could detail your car. I didn't have intention to shoot yet, but we probably talked for like 45 minutes. So I fucking killed that challenge right there. Because it's one thing to do the initial approach, get rejected, and then like avoid, the feeling. You could walk away and you could sit with the feeling, but to be in the moment talking to the woman and holding the conversation with a woman you find attractive, when your body's tensed up and your nervous system is betraying you and you're shaky and you're not confident, you're not feeling confident, that is very powerful. And that was a big confidence booster for me. At the end of it, though, I was getting ready to leave. I didn't know how to set up a date. I wanted to express my attraction, but because I had already gotten her number, I didn't know what to do. So I fucking just asked her out on a date. I was like, look, like, I had a great time talking to you. Let's go out for coffee on Thursday. I already have your number. I'll hit you up. She agreed. She said yes. So this was a great, like, fucking victory for me, just because I was able to lead the conversation. It still expressed my desire, and I had to be bold and shoot my shot. That way she knew my desire, because a lot of men, and I've done this myself, will go up and talk to the woman without displaying their desire and kind of beat around the bush, and they could sense that shit. They could feel it, that you're beating around the bush, and that shit is very unattractive. Like, if you're gonna go, let your intentions be known. And sometimes you don't even have to say, oh my goodness, you're beautiful, oh my goodness, this, oh my goodness. Just you going up with the intention and the frequency or the vibration, or the heart of desire, they will feel it. They will feel it. So don't lie to yourself and say, I'm just gonna go up and talk to her. No, own that shit. Be unapologetic. Grab your fucking balls and be like, you know what? I'm gonna go after it. I'm gonna go after what I want. I'm a motherfucking conqueror. Conquest. So I got this woman's number. Cool. Date is set. I hit her up. I hit her up. She doesn't respond until the day of. She's like, hey, sorry, can't. I've been really busy. Blah blah blah. Like, okay, cool, whatever. Call me tomorrow night. I want to talk to you. We're on the phone Friday night. I was asleep. I was really tired from work. She calls me. It's like 10 at night. We're having a good conversation or whatever. And this girl does not fucking stop yapping. And I'm texting my brother, like, what the fuck? Like, why the fuck am I on the phone for? Like, this girl does not stop talking. But anyways, at the end of the fucking conversation, I set up another date for Sunday. I set up another date for Sunday, bruh. Big mistake. Big mistake. I set up the date for Sunday. I hit her up. Send me your address. Saturday night. No response. No response. Sunday. No response. No response. And I went. I had to travel ways distance to go towards her area, just in case she responded. Which, now that I say it out loud, it was stupid. I should have just stayed where I was at and chilled out, because she wasn't gonna fucking respond. You know. She ghosted my ass. The date plans were like, what the fuck? Like, bruh, like, you fucking ghosted my ass. Nothing happened. So I got fucking pissed off. And I was like, fuck it. Fuck you. It is what it is. Like, shit. I shouldn't have even tolerated that shit in the first place. I understand shit happened. It is what it is. I showed grace, but I was fucking upset. I was fucking upset. I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, why didn't she at least, like, she could, I would have rather her told me to fuck off. Like, don't fucking, I'm not trying to go out with you because A, B, and C. But most people are avoidant. And this is the first time that I had really remembered that and realized that. Because I was doing sales at the same time, sales calls. The client will straight up tell you, yeah, I'm going to buy from you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You call them back, never hear from them again. Oh, no, this is not the right time. Call them back. They're not going to tell you the fucking truth. They're just going to beat around the bush. It's just the way that people are. I was upset because I was like, bro, you could have at least told me, like, don't fucking, like, I'm not trying to go out with you. Fine. Like, but women are never going to do that. Most people are never going to do that. So I learned that shit almost immediately. Do not expect them to tell you the truth. If someone ain't fucking with you, they ain't going to tell you. Most oftentimes than not. If they tell you, shit, at least you could respect them because they telling you straight up face to face. But if they ain't saying shit, like, how the fuck, like, you left me hanging, it is what it is. It's my fault. It's my fault because I had expectations. Just never have expectations. The ambiguity, if I'm saying that correctly, the desire, the want to need to know why will eat you up more than her actually fucking rejecting you straight up face to face. So don't ever like put energy when you get ghosted into figuring out why. Who fucking knows? Who fucking knows? You could have just smelled bad that day you met him. You could have fucking said the wrong thing at the wrong time, but they still agreed to go out with you because of a date. They could have just not been feeling it. They could have gotten their period. They could have like there's so many things that could go through your head. Don't even worry about it. It's harder. It's easier said than done. But as you go through approaching, it's normal. It's normal. It's not right, but it's normal. It's just the way people are. People are avoidant. We a lot of us most of the time we avoid our own fears. So I mean, it's expected. This pissed me the fuck off though, and this leading up to week 4, yeah, whatever week it was, pissed me off, and it drove me to continue to keep going because I knew I was capable of getting over this fear of approaching and going out on a date. Right? I'll leave you guys with this. What I really learned with through that, to summarize the video, summarize the video. Don't have expectations when you're dealing in personal interactions. When you're trying to manipulate outcomes and control them, and the best thing you could do is persuade, and persuasion is really about conveying your value quickly. Expect flaky people. Most people are flaky. Expect it. Don't take it personal because you don't know what the fuck it could be. Adjust and try to find the right process to get these, women or clients if you do sales, like to retain them, but don't dwell on why the fuck she didn't go through, especially with the woman, especially within cold approaching. So I leave y'all with that. I hope you enjoyed episode 2. Most High during this time was really showing me, don't take flaky people seriously. And it was really a blessing in disguise now that I look back on it, because with moments like that where you're rejected or people aren't like telling you straight up, you realize how many people are like that. They're flaky, they're avoidant, and ambiguity, the wanting to know why is much heavier than actually being rejected, you know. Because it's one thing to hear, no, I have a boyfriend. Oh shit, well at least I'm getting a no. But to hear nothing, to hear silence is much weightier than words. And if you let it get to you, it will eat you up. And I know even to this day I struggle with that, to keep it candid. Episode 2, I will go into episode 3, because episode 3, my first mirror shows up. Peace.